He's making a video. He's like a cat influencer. That is so Brighton. Cat influencers throwing their cats around on the beach. Like, no one has a normal job here. Or, you know, like, what do you do? Oh, I throw my cat around.
Today, my dad and I are in Brighton. We're visiting Isaac HP. He's a big TikToker, online personality, and he kindly agreed for a photo shoot for the channel. Hope you enjoy.
Quite often it's about the light.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of an exercise of putting a person into a space and then recording what happens. So, I can't stop doing it because once your brain has been wired that way, you're constantly looking for spaces.
Yeah, constantly.
So the co-op, it was too soon in our kind of little stroll for me to sort of point it out, but it's got these sort of pears and they're lit. So it's like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, what was your motivation to end up getting where you are now?
I always wanted to do like sort of comedy or stand-up or entertainment. I was like listening to podcasts, and a lot of American comedians were doing podcasts. And then you started to learn that these people that you see on stage and on TV aren't as clean cut as you think they are. They're actually people that can talk, and they have all their jokes come from experiences. And then because of that, like learning that these comedians are real people and they don't just go on stage, you know, live at the Apollo and just do it on a whim, you know, because when you see the clean cut bit of it on TV, you sort of don't even know that they practice that set at the clubs and they spend months and months and months trying to work on a routine. You think that, I always thought that comedians were just like
naturally funny.
Yeah, I thought they were just like magicians, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I thought it was something that I could never do or even try to do, which is sort of what I'm doing. Like, I'm not like at a full, like, I'm not like at the best I could ever be at stand-up, but like, it's still something that I could work on. And sometimes I do a show and I think it's really good, and like, everyone's like having a good time, you know? And it's like, it's cool that like YouTube taught me that, you know, normal people just want to do comedy. Like,
I actually used to watch a YouTuber, really early YouTuber, Hamza. Yeah, Diary of a Bad Man.
oh, okay.
And we actually went to Edinburgh Festival when I was about 13 and
Yeah.
watched it
Oh,
there.
wow.
It was an early insight into the power of YouTube, and it was absolutely packed out.
Wow,
It was
yeah.
so difficult to get tickets, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's so interesting how siloed the different sort of famous people are now. So you have a constituency of people who are so into what you do, and yet people of my generation, very few of them probably with the greatest of respect would be alive to your existence. And it's crazy because it creates a sort of divide, you know, in a way.
It does, but like, I feel that's always going to happen. That always happens generationally, even without, if social media never happened, that would still happen in a way. The reason I wanted to do the documentaries was, one, I didn't want to do a podcast, but two, it was like, I want to like document the culture. TikTok and social media, YouTube, these people that are coming up on this like fast-paced social media sort of scene, a lot of them come and go, and then people just forget about them. Some people are really popular for like a year, and then they just completely disappear. Nobody knows anything about them, and they have to go back to work a normal job, you know? I just want to document these people, to show people, to just capture it in a way, as a little time capsule, and be like, this is someone that lived in this scene at that point in time, where so many people were becoming famous for really weird things, you know. And it's been brewing for ages, like Vine and YouTube, but now it's like more than ever, you know, these like sort of characters that pop up. Oh wait, what's?
Can we stop for a second? It's like the most distracting thing on that
Literally threw his cat.
It's like throwing his cat around. I'm just going to move up.
He's throwing his cat. He's throwing his cat around.
Have you heard about the lady that, well, there was someone who who said that they were in the building during 9/11.
Oh, really?
And they just weren't. But she did it for like sympathy and like to become like famous and stuff like that. But she wasn't even in the state of New York.
Isaac's been doing documentaries on his YouTube. They're really poignant, I think. And
yeah, I think like right now, like I think it's just an easy place for me to start with documentaries, is doing what I've done for the past 4 years is TikTok. So like every single day I wake up and I've been making videos of other people, and then like
you're not like regarded in the same way, I feel like, Bevo or M.R is.
I'm not, but at the same time, like that's still like a weird way to put it. Like these people are maybe seen as a bit more controversial,
Maybe it's controversial.
and everyone likes to like call these people grifters and stuff like that. But the people that aren't as controversial, like, are they not grifting also?
Yeah.
Like everyone basically, people start off wanting to make stuff in social media. They want to make videos that they find funny, and then very quickly, when you get traction, it turns into a business. It turns into money, how much money you can make. You know, not with all people, but there is a majority. There is not a majority, but there is a level of it where it is you're an influencer.
They started off just wanting to make something.
Yeah, so like, and then so everyone in this scene is basically trying to stay relevant. I think like I'm not as different as Bevo and M.R. And these other people that I'll be doing documentaries on in this scene. Like I'm also someone. I mean, I'm the one doing the documentaries, and that has made me a different level of relevant to people who like documentaries, who've watched them. You know, so it's like. It's also about fame, and it's about like why people want to be famous, and why that's appealing, and like why, and how like fame has become casual more than ever. Being famous is more casual than ever, but it's a really big deal. As in like, you put yourself out there, and you can never go back. And some people put themselves out there in these crazy ways where everyone hates them. Like Bevo's getting attacked on the street.
Yeah.
You know.
That video, people throwing stuff at him.
Yeah, and then this other guy, we haven't released a documentary yet, but someone smashed his window. He had a police raid on him, you know, and even though he might have put that energy out there,
is it worth
it? It's like, is it worth it? And because fame has become so casual, and more people can become famous than ever now, or have a level of followers or a following, you know, it attracts a lot of people that would never have become that at that time, and everyone wants a piece of it. And that's created something quite insane, I think.
Do you think to yourself, oh, I want to be famous?
Yeah. Like when I was younger, I really wanted that.
Okay.
I think it just came out of like feeling not viewed as a child, you know?
It's attention, isn't it?
Attention, and like you become sort of funny, and you become like, you're trying to make people laugh all the time when you're a kid and stuff. And that's kind of what I was doing when I was younger. And I wanted to just make that into something and create a version of me that maybe wasn't me, you know, as a way to sort of become something. You know, like I just wanted to feel like I was alive sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like I make stuff because I'm reminding myself that I'm alive. If I don't do anything creative for like a few days, I generally have panic attacks, and like
I can relate to that.
Yeah, like I just don't feel like I'm doing anything to like say I am here to myself and other people, you know.
I sort of feel like if I don't, I sometimes forget that I have a creative outlet, taking pictures or whatever. And then after a while, I just sort of feel ordinary, and I feel like something compressing on my chest. It's just sort of like I feel mundane, and then you do something creative, and then suddenly you remember.
It feels like your blood is flowing around.
Yeah,
you know?
Even writing something. I've got into writing, and it's sort of.
And it gives you like this purpose, like you've done something where your brain has created something. You know.
These guys, I remember they would sort of say to me sometimes, "Dad, do you photograph famous people?" And then the next question would be, "Are you famous?" And I was never famous, obviously. I could see that the idea was this idea was forming in their head that it was a good thing to be famous.
Yeah.
And I always would say, and I remember sort of saying this often, that there's no point in having fame without the resources to protect yourself. So if you're Demi Moore or whatever, you can buy a house in the Hollywood Hills and have all the security. But if you're Jade Goody, and you're on Big Brother, I don't know if you remember her, but...
I know Jade Goody,
Yeah, so, I mean, you can earn quite a lot of money for selling your stories to Hello magazine, but maybe not enough to buy a house on its own with a big wall around it and barbed wire, you know, to keep the crazies
I mean, she
out.
ended up selling her death to the newspapers.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is insane.
It was very prescient, really, because it sort of indicates the kind of future that we're sort of stumbling into.
Yeah, it was sort of a mark of like, this is, get ready. Get ready for like how we're going to be documented, you know?
Yeah. And what I do now is try and have a parallel life, which is balanced, which is about my friends and my family and my relationships, because, you know, because there's no point in having all this success and objective material wealth and stuff like that, you know, that other people that you don't know admire. If, as I said to you earlier, you know, if you don't have a good relationship with your friends and your family, and that's what sustains you. That's what enables you to have that long-term.
I think so.
Career,
and it keeps you balanced as a keeps you an actual person.
That's the other thing, is like over the course of doing this job, like it's so nice talking about the shoots and being completely candid, because I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be dead soon. So if I want to say that who have I dissed? You know, Damon Albarn wasn't particularly friendly. I don't really care. I don't.
That's what I was thinking as well. Like I was like, I think when you're starting out and stuff, you have to be the one who's nice to everyone.
Yeah.
But now you're at a point where you know the power that you hold in your career. You don't, like, you know what I mean? But like, you don't have to.
I don't have to play that game. I don't feel I have any power.
No,
I don't. As you get older, you just genuinely lose the need to care about what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderfully
and I feel like photographers, like from what I've seen anyway, photographers are also seen as, especially when you were shooting back in the day, sort of seen as this like
a peripheral
bit of a chore for the celebrity to have to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, another photo shoot. Yeah. And because of you're not talking in them, it's not an interview where it's going to be filmed, and if they're going to say something rude, then you're going to like. It's almost like they don't think that anything's ever going to be said about it.
Not every photographer is willing or able to talk about their shoots, or has had the good sense to methodically archive their body of work in the same way that I have. So it is unusual, because at the time no one thought that I would be pontificating about being on this same beach 30 years ago doing Bobby Gillespie, Primal Scream, you know.
Yeah.
Then